Iman, we understand you went to City Hall to testify about your experience, but you say that supplement manufacturers didn't even stick around to listen to your users' testimony.
Absolutely. Several years ago, I wrote a piece about my experience for Teen Vogue, which connected me with organizers, and I became very involved in legislative efforts to ban the sale of detox teas and diet products to minors. And I testified in City Hall about my experience. And while I was very inspired by the other testimonies I heard that day by people who had been impacted, I was very disappointed that the defendant didn't even stay to listen to how the products had directly impacted us. But I will say that I was unbelievably touched that so many people reached out to me after my testimony to let me know that they had been silently suffering or impacted by using these products as well. So I would just make the argument that even though best case scenario, teenagers, young people will go to their doctors and talk to them before attempting weight loss solutions, these products are in pharmacies, they're in grocery stores, they're in bodegas, they are unmarked as dangerous, they are being passed from mother to daughter, sister to sister, friend to friend, and they're everywhere.
All right, Dan, what do you have to say about manufacturers ignoring claims like Iman's and others that products did harm them?
Well, and by federal law, they can't ignore them. If a problem was sent to them, they report that to the agency. If it wasn't called in, it should be called in, because if it's serious, they're obligated to send that into FDA. And you talked before about what the solution is. Maybe the solution is, and happy to work with the Assemblywoman on this, is that people can report adverse events into FDA as there's some education on that. Maybe that's let people know. And furthermore, like we said, so much of this, and Iman, sounds like your story too, was peer pressure, whether that's from your peer group, or, as seems to be the case these days, social media, because so many people are isolated. That's something, again, folks, it's already illegal to make claims on anything that are not truthful and misleading. And so those sorts of things, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That's the rule of thumb, whether someone's a teenager or an adult. I think we all know that.
Christina, any final thoughts to wrap up our debate here?
I want to thank Iman for sharing her story with us in such a crystal clear way out there. We need many things to tackle this problem, and a piece of the puzzle is restricting access to these products that are not regulated by the FDA out there. And so it's not about one or the other. We need it all in conjunction out there. And this idea that we have to keep turning to the FDA when they do not regulate these items. We know the system is broken, whether it's through Iman's story or through the stories you're hearing in your practice out there. We need to take action. And this is one way that we know has worked for other industries. And we need to take action now, because the cost, it's not the bottom line of the industry, but it's the cost to these young people and their health that we should be worried about and prioritizing.
Yeah. And Doc, before we get out of here with this segment, let me just take a moment, and I'm sure you share these sentiments, and say how proud we are of Iman for finding the courage to openly talk about something that is so deeply and intensely shameful to so many of our young ladies out there, which is body image and how I feel about the way I look, right? That shame is the thing that hides it away in the closet. That shame is the thing that keeps the momentum going when it comes to your anxiety, your depression, being on the road to a possible abuse pattern or even an eating disorder. But the more young ladies like Iman can find their voice, take control of their narrative and speak their truth, the brighter the light we can shine on it, and the better chance we have of wrapping our arms around this problem.
I couldn't agree with you more. She's going to help a lot of people out there, and we need to see change. So Christina, Dan, and again, Iman, thank you so much for participating in this lively debate. Thanks for your insight, and we have to keep on talking.